You are listening to The Competitor's Brain. This is Lauren Fox, and this is episode number 76. So yesterday we talked about success leaves clues and the concept that if you're going to be really great at something, you have to figure out what people who are amazing are doing and figure out how they are doing it. What is actually giving them the juice that they need to be the best at what they do. And over the last couple of months, I've listened to several podcasts that talk about people reading books and what the process is for somebody who is reading a book to go through and flag things. Fine, that's great. We all do it. Maybe you flag things. Wright Thompson was talking with Ryan Holiday about highlighting. Sometimes he'll use a pen, write things in the margin. All excellent ways to go about it. George Raveling has a really complicated way. He was discussing with Tim Ferriss. George Raveling, of course, the famous college basketball coach, groundbreaking basketball coach. And Rav was talking about a way that he goes through and reads. And it's a complicated way, and he'll use the end of the book to take notes. Ryan Holiday has something that he calls a commonplace book where he'll go through and take notes and add things to books. Robert Greene will go through, the guy who wrote the 48 Laws of Power, and put everything on note cards and sort note cards specifically. But these are all people who are leading in their field when it comes to creating content. And what they're doing, it's amazing, with other people's content is they're figuring out how to process it and sort it in such a way that they can go back to it and index it. I could tell you over the years, hundreds of books that I've read, and somebody brings something up and I'll just kind of sit open mouthed and say, I don't remember a thing about that book. And I don't even have a resource that I can go back to and look. My answer would be I'd have to go back, probably check the book out of the library, find it, and look for the exact thing that I wanted. Whereas some of the people who are thought leaders have really done an excellent job at figuring out a way of cataloging their thoughts. So what I would say is to you and to anybody who's listening, one thing when you go through and read is not just reading it and trying to blast through the book, but reading it, finding the actual value. As Dr. Rob Gilbert says, you don't want to paint the book. You don't want to highlight everything. You do have to figure out what is truly impactful and what just might sound impactful. But if you're able to do that and then get it into some sort of system that you can go back through after the fact and quickly index something that you might have read, that pays dividends. The interesting thing in listening to what Ryan Holiday said, George Raveling said, Wright Thompson said, writing these things down gives you sort of that kinesthetic process that it goes from your hand into your brain. And it's a reason that using some of the study guides that are available now might not work quite as well. So one thing I would say, if you're reading a lot and you're reading a lot trying to get knowledge and trying to catalog thoughts, is figure out a way that you can use to get all that information into a system that doesn't rely only on your brain.